Hi there, it's John from Commercial Real Estate Online. Welcome to the program. This is the video show where I like to share tips, tools, ideas in commercial real estate. And when I say commercial, I mean office, industrial and retail, from a sales, leasing or property management perspective. There are many ideas in this video channel to help you within those categories. So the website to contact us is commercial-real-estate-training.com, and visit there to get the ideas you need in commercial real estate wherever you are located around the world. So in today's program, I'm going to talk about major shopping centre analysis and performance. If you get involved with retail property, particularly shopping centres, this will help you. This particular chart I'm going to take you into is very large. So I'm going to break this particular chart down into categories so that you can analyse things more deeply when it comes to selling, leasing, investment analysis, that sort of thing. So this is the program where we start off the topics, the categories, and I'll take you into each one and of course summarise it to you. So let's have a look at these things and move ahead with this category. By the way, I'm going to put a link here in this video to an article at the website which will help you with details of how to analyse a shopping centre. So follow the article as well. That will help you. Print it off, use it. So let's get on with this particular video show and the topics for today. So major retail shopping centre performance. Of course, shopping centres are many different sizes. It can be a very simple strip shopping centre of 4 or 5 shops. Convenience based, of course. Then you'll go up to the next level, which is an anchor tenant of some type and maybe 5 to 10 or shops within that shopping centre. And beyond that, you'll go into 2 anchors, 3 anchors, and then of course into major shopping centres of different types. So this analysis will help you understand what you're looking at and how to work with that. So major shopping centre performance, where do you start? I always start with the tenants because the tenants provide the cash flow and the foundation for the investment over time. There are different types of tenants in a shopping centre. I would have a look at the tenancy mix, particularly at the very start, because I want to see where the weaknesses are. Who are the good tenants? Who are the bad tenants? I would actually visit each shop without announcing who I am or what I'm looking at to understand the levels of stock, how they're trading, how they're marketing, the number of customers that they could be getting. Of course, there are many different tenant types as well. So you've got to understand that and work with that. Taking that to the next level and the analysis, here we go. The tenancy types. So the tenant types could be food related, service related, fashion related, many different tenancy types. So categorise them. I have a master list that I use when it comes to tenant analysis, and I do break them down into anchor tenants, food tenants, fashion related, service related, and I go into many other categories within each of those to understand what's going on in the tenancy mix. So I start there. Who are the tenants? I would check the tenancy schedule, by the way, as part of that. Who are they? What's the tenancy service they provide to their customers? And are they the right tenants for the property? Going further. The permitted use. So in looking at the permitted use, what I'm trying to do there is to understand that the tenants are trading within the permitted use of their lease documentation. This says that I will look at the leases, and yes, I will, to understand the terms of each lease relating to each tenant, and as part of that, I will look at the permitted use in each case to ensure that the tenant is doing the legal retail business activities in the site. Going a bit further from that. The clustering of tenants. Now, in any shopping centre, 5 shops and above, the clustering of tenants is actually important. So you've got food tenants, fashion tenants, service tenants, and others. How do they all fit together? Are the tenants placed in the right position to each other, to the way in which the customers visit the property? The clustering of tenants can actually improve the customer interest and the visitations of the customers to the property. So you look at where the food tenants are. Can they be positioned more closely together? Understanding that when a customer purchases food-related items from a shopping centre, they don't want to walk too far. So the clustering of tenants into a food-related group does actually work. But in saying that, you have to also consider how you can get customers to the other retail tenants who are non-food related. So that's where you look at the clustering of tenants around the property design, the entrance ways to the property, the car park, the common areas, how people move through the property. That's the clustering of tenants. Where are the weaknesses? I would do a SWOT analysis, by the way, with the clustering of tenants to drill down into who the tenants are they trading correctly, are they good tenants, is the cluster working, can I move them later, when does their lease expire, what are the terms of the lease, what rents are they paying, are they market rents, that sort of thing. That's pretty deep, I get that, but that's what I do. Going further. Tenant meetings. As part of the analysis of a shopping centre, where possible, I would meet with the tenants because I want to know what's going on with their activities in the shopping centre. Do they want to expand, trade, relocate, or evacuate? Evacuate's a good word, isn't it? In other words, leave the shopping centre. So it's expansion, contraction, or relocation. Or do they want to move? So tenant meetings, you need to have them. I would have tenant meetings, by the way, with the tenants in a shopping centre. If I'm looking at it from an investment perspective, I would look at the tenant meetings once every quarter. And certainly I would talk to the tenants monthly. When you do that, you understand how the tenants are thinking, what they're doing from a trading perspective, what trade is doing for them and or the shopping centre. And then, of course, if you have food tenants of different categories, you can compare trade levels, perhaps, within the food type tenants to understand those tenants that are trading well and those that are not. One thing you can do, by the way, when you look at a shopping centre and the tenancy mix is to assess the goods that they're storing in the tenancy, the displays, the marketing. If the tenant is trading well, they'll have plenty of goods. If they're not trading well, their stock will be down. Something to think about. Now, lease and occupancy management. What I'm worried about there is to understand the expansion, contraction, relocation requirements. And I'm working early with that because tenants won't tell you when they're thinking of doing something. They might think that they don't need to tell you. And of course, soon you'll find that they're vacating, and that's not what you want. So lease and occupancy management is a good way of keeping abreast of what's going on with that tenant in that location. There's nothing wrong with relocating a tenant to solve their problem and also a vacancy problem in the shopping centre, providing it works for everybody. Now, as part of that, I look at all of the expiry profiles over the next 2 years. So in analysing a shopping centre, I get a chart together. The chart has the commencement dates, expiry dates, option dates, rent reviews, the critical dates within the lease of any other type or nature, the market rents, the comparisons to the current rents, the way in which the tenant is trading. I put all that into a chart so I can look at the expiry profiles over the next 2 years. And in doing that, I can keep abreast of the changes so I don't lose a tenant. Some tenants I don't mind losing. So when they get to the end of the lease, that's fine. They can go. Perhaps you have tenants like that. But you have to prepare for that. That's why the next 2 years you can make your decisions on the good tenants, the better tenants, those that you don't want to lose, those that you don't mind losing, those that you need to expand or contract, and those that you need to move around within the clustering of tenants. So the last point in this particular group is relocations and renovations. Now, a retail property is a very vibrant type of property from a business investment perspective. To keep the rents at a level of market activity or comparison, you have to make sure that the property is attractive to customers so they come there and buy things. And then, of course, the tenants are trading well. And sometimes you need to renovate the property or relocate the tenants for the renovation or expand the property. To keep a retail property performing well over time, there has to be renovation works, relocation works, expansion of the tenancy mix, relocation of the tenancy mix. When you're working with a shopping centre, you do have to handle this perspective so you can stay ahead of the pressure points. It's very easy for me to see where a shopping centre is mismanaged, is not leased well, and might also be owner managed with an owner who is really inexperienced or doesn't spend the money on the shopping centre. Because the shopping centre will degrade over time. And I think we've all seen those shopping centres that present poorly. The tenancy mix is terrible. The vacancies happen and no one fills them. The marketing, the signage on the shopping centre is atrocious. No standards. The line marking in the car parking is terrible. All of that, it impacts the customer, the customer's visit, the tenant's trading, the tenant's interest in staying. So that's all about renovations, relocations, also capital works. So those particular topics are all about tenants and analysing the tenants within a shopping centre. In the next particular video show, I'll go into landlords and what I would look into when it comes to landlords within the shopping centre. So enjoy these ideas. Of course, subscribe while you're here and follow the link through to the article at the website which covers off on shopping centre analysis and performance. This is John from Commercial Real Estate Online. Thanks for listening today. I'm glad you can join the program and of course subscribe while you're here. I'll catch you in the next video show.